Denny, there was a lot of lack of passing out there tonight, especially you and Briscoe were around each other a whole lot tonight. What was your experience out there with the passing and the driving? Not really able to move up, just kind of holding firm, but you were still able to get enough points to advance.
Which one do you want me to answer?
Passing and Briscoe.
All right. The passing one, yeah. I mean, we all run the same times. We're running close to the same car. It's on a short track. It's just kind of a, the tire doesn't fall off, right? It either doesn't last 50 laps or it lasts 200. So, certainly we got to get some consistency in the tires going. Other than that, just all the cars are equal, all the drivers are equal, and that's what you see and why it's so hard to pass.
Do you feel like it helped you with getting those points to advance with being able not to go anywhere?
I just slowly but surely chipped away. I started 8th and 7th, 6th, just every 25, 30 laps, picking off a position, and then getting to the front there, getting to the top 2. And I wanted to race for the win at that point, but we didn't quite have the handle at the end that we needed to challenge the 5. He was elite anyway, but it was still a great day.
And not let me go. I know. On the backstretch here, like 6 to go, I seen your hand, and so I said, Freddie's gonna let me have it. Freddie's like, still there for 3 laps. I'm like, what the fuck? He just pointed me by.
I didn't check up.
So what was the hand?
To go low. I didn't want to get past it.
Oh, okay. Go low, but still gonna race.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna keep holding that. You're going to be. I know. I didn't want to step on my dick. I tried to do that earlier. So. Good job.
Were you waiting for the other shoe to drop late in the race?
Yes. I told him I didn't even want to count down. I've had some unfortunate things happen, and so certainly I was definitely, just hoping this thing went green. I let this thing finish out naturally, and luckily everybody kept their head on.
So what's the feeling now, Denny? Like, having gotten through it, you advanced, but you knew you could.
Yeah.
Like, that was a long-ass night.
No, I mean, it's just like finally a decent run, right? I mean, we're either in the 30s or top 5, right? And so I want to get back on track of contending for wins, and I think tonight's a good step for that. And then we go to Kansas, where I really feel confident. So certainly I feel like this is a reset. This is time to put away the past and go all offense.
Is Talladega and the Roval kind of deja vu?
Yes and no. I mean, I'm certainly going to be more aggressive and try to do everything I can to get more points at the Super Speedway race. But Roval, I don't know. It seems like that race comes down to qualifying, but who knows where you're at. I got to get through the first one and then see where we're at. But overall, this round's very similar, but we couldn't have run any worse. Well, we couldn't have finished any worse than what we did the first 2 here, and we still made it. So hopefully we do the same.
With Kansas being a race that the Toyotas have been good on, specifically the JGR cars, do you feel more confident now that you advance going to Kansas next week as the first race?
Truthfully, I feel confident every week that we can win. Next week will be no different. This week I went in here thinking, I told Chris, don't tell me anything about points. Just let me go race for a win. And but naturally, I look around. I can see who's struggling, who's not having a great day. And at that, towards the end, 150 to go, I'm looking around saying, do I really want to push it up against the wall, or do I just want to get out of here and move on? And so certainly, we got the finish we needed to move on.
Chris, you're obviously very happy that Denny was able to advance. You guys are in the next round. Just the process of the race, selling him in, letting him do what he had to do. What was the experience on the pit box calling this race, especially without the tires falling off as much as we thought?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly threw everybody a curveball coming into the weekend. I think, everyone expected it to be a tire fall-off style race. I wasn't convinced of it, but certainly that's the side I leaned on. And we made a few setup decisions coming into the weekend that, had I known it was going to be this, we wouldn't have made. We were at a little bit of a car deficit setup-wise, I think. And then, once we execute the first 2 stages the way we did and get control of our point situation, then it's just about managing the day. There was a time there where I thought we had a shot to win, certainly a second place car, but Denny managed the day the way he needed to, and we ended up fourth.
I'm sure it was kind of frustrating for him, with the lack of passing out there. I asked him about him battling Briscoe, lap after lap, even though they were making chipping away through the field. But from the passing aspect, the PJ1 that was put down, how did that affect things with what you saw out there?
Well, I actually thought it was as racy as you can expect it to be at Bristol with this car. Mm-hmm. It's too easy to drive. They're too close. And you're not going to ask for much better racing. I'm sorry, you're not. The bottom was good, the middle was good, the top was good, but they're all separated by 0.0 nothing. Mm-hmm. And physics is a buffer. And, these are the world's best stock car teams and drivers. If you don't give them enough ways to separate themselves, that's what you're going to see. So I actually thought it was as good a race as you could hope for. Now, I was busy, so maybe that's not a great objective opinion. Maybe I'd go back and watch it and get a different take, but the days of the old Bristol are over this car. That's just the truth.
You get to the racetrack today and they lay down the PJ1. Did that complicate matters for you guys a little bit?
It did, a little bit setup wise. I kind of knew yesterday the setup decisions we had made. Once the tire didn't fall off, I knew what kind of race it was going to be, that we compromised ourselves a little bit with the setup decisions. I'm not saying, we would have been half second faster, but we certainly made some decisions that we couldn't back out of, without jack stands and an hour to work on it. But I actually think they made the right move, because once it was clear that the top was going to come in and tires weren't going to wear, I don't think resin was going to give the bottom enough grip to be competitive, and then it would have been a train around the top. So I thought the PJ1 was the exact right move once we saw what kind of race we were going to have.
Right? Like, we needed to bring better cars last week, and we didn't do it. You know what I mean? We had a good car at Atlanta and maybe didn't get the finish at the end we needed. We had a speeding penalty today. Got him in the position where he needed to drive his butt off, and he did at the end, and we just got the longer run and didn't get the caution and split where you could do that and not run the tires off of it. And it is what it is. Learn from it, right? It's the first round is very important, right? Especially if you start off with a bad run. Like you just got to maximize what you got. It just didn't work out. I mean, ultimately today only, right? You could see the 19 couldn't come back to the field once they got that penalty. For a split second, I had thought about staying out like the 45, but my fear was not being able to get positions again late. I might have been lapped down way before then, and it wouldn't have mattered, So, I don't know. It's unfortunate, but learning lesson.
Even though Ty was eliminated, how important is this for his career, making the playoffs for the first time and just learning and developing as a driver?
Yeah, I think this is the first time him feeling the pressure of the first round of the playoffs, right, and going through that process, right, and I'm sure that next year at this time, he's going to learn a lot from that and going to already have that experience, right? And know how important certain aspects of it. The races change every year, but the pressure is the part that you can't simulate any other time.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Jared Haas with Frontstretch.com. Come back soon for more great racing videos. And if you like us, make sure to hit that subscribe button.